Hey, welcome to this video series I'm going to be doing called How to Write Like a Rapper. I'm a huge rap fan, and I've always been fascinated by how rappers put together these literary devices to make up the lyricism we hear on rap songs. So, this series is covering how rappers use the similes, metaphors, and other aspects of rappers like flow, delivery, cadence. But the first few videos are going to cover mostly the lyrical part. Like similes, rhymes, metaphors, entendres, all that stuff. So, obviously, as you can see on the title, the first video, this is going to be about rhyme. Rhyming. Rhyming doesn't really need its intro. Everyone knows what rhyming is. Everyone knows, what rappers do with rhyme. But I feel like with rhyme, it still needs a little bit of explanation. Everyone knows the famous couplet type of rhyming, like cats, hat, all that stuff. The rhymes at the end of lines. But there's more to rhyming than just that. There's other types of rhymes, from everything from half rhyme, slant rhyme, perfect rhyme, feminine rhyme, or also known as compound rhyme, masculine rhyme, and internal rhyme. And so, there's all sorts of rhymes, and all these rhymes are rhymes that rappers use in varying forms, and they use it all together to make the verses that we hear in rap songs. Especially if we're talking much more lyrical or more lyricist type rappers, they use all these elements. Enjambment rhyme, like a whole plethora of things. And so I like to just cover all the other types and examples of rappers doing this and sprinkling their verses with so many different rhymes. And another thing also is rhyme scheme, which I'm pretty sure you guys have probably heard about. But the thing about rhyme scheme and rap is that there's another meaning to it. The dictionary denotation version, which is the A, B, A, B, all that stuff, which mostly describes the end rhyme type of scheme. But there's another type of scheme in the form of words in the, rhymes that rhyme in the middle of the sentence, which is the internal rhymes, and, multi-rhymes. You'll see when I show you the examples of what I mean by rhyme scheme. So, for my example, I like to use Nas's verse from his song Memory Lane on the Illmatic album. So as you can see, the highlighted are the words that rhyme. As you can see, cars, bars, behind, divine. Speaking of which, an example of one of the rhymes I was just listing, that I showed you that people mostly don't know about. Multi-rhyme or compound rhyme is shown here, behind, divine, gnosis, showbiz. Basically what compound rhyme is basically the rhyming of words that have two or more syllables or a phrase. Two faces and shoelaces. That counts as a compound rhyme. One's a word and one's like more a phrase. So that's an example of multi-rhyme. When it comes to eternal rhyme, it's something like, for example, this true blue, as you see here with the pink highlight. It's basically the rhyming of words in the middle of sentences that isn't at the end. Whereas, most people know, rhyming at the end of a line. Eternal rhyme is basically the rhyming of words either on the same line or in the line next that are not at the end. So true, blue, brew, crew, that's internal rhyme right there. That also counts as a rhyme scheme, as you can see, the true, game, blue, veins, brew, crew, lane, that's an example of rhyme scheme. So already, little examples right there that I mentioned and I showed on that slide that you just saw about all the other rhymes I mentioned are going to be in this verse or in some of the other examples that I'm going to show you. But, here are some examples of all the other rhymes that I can find in rap, literature, etc. Like masculine, slant, So these are probably rhymes you heard in rap songs or you probably came across in a poem or so on. And that's the versatility of rhyming. There's all sorts of different ways you can rhyme. Another example I'll show you is Nipsey Hussle. Big Sean released Detroit 2, and on the song Deep Reverence, Nipsey has a guest appearance on there. And so here on the guest verse, he follows a certain rhyme scheme: street legend, deep reverence, C-section, police presence, keep weapons, eat breakfast. And on the fourth bar to, I would say, 5, 6, 7, 8, the eighth bar, you also see that he incorporates an internal rhyme with cops, got, ops, block, lot, shots, talk, so that's how rhyme scheme can also be, in the fact that with Nas, you saw him shifting rhyme schemes almost every couplet or even triplet, whereas Nipsey, he kind of carries a rhyme scheme throughout beyond than just the couplet or triplet. Like the reverence type, the reverence rhyme scheme is carried on through 6 bars, and the second to last rhyme scheme, street, deep, sea, keep, eat, street, sheep, east, it goes on further than that. So that's how rhyme schemes can be. They can be very versatile. You can be a shifter who's always changing rhyme schemes, or you can be someone who's always maintaining a rhyme scheme. These 2 songs right here, one by Tupac, Temptations, and Lupe, Glory, are 2 examples of carrying on a certain rhyme scheme. With Tupac's, his rhyme scheme does kind of change, but the way he's rhyming is consistent throughout the song. Lupe's is a much more, I wouldn't say impressive, though it kind of depends on what you deem impressive. But what Lupe does is impressive in the fact that he maintains a whole rhyme scheme like Tupac did, but what he does is maintain not just a rhyme scheme, but the type of syllable throughout the rhyme scheme. Both are impressive. Both are impressive in how they carry on a rhyme scheme. And, they go into what I'm talking about maintaining a rhyme scheme. It all just depends on what you feel. Like, as a rapper, as a whatever you are who's interested in writing rhymes, do you want to carry out an entire rhyme scheme throughout? Do you think your vocabulary is big enough to handle that? Or do you feel like you want to change stuff around and just shift and, do this, that, and the third? It all depends on you, really. An example from me. These are just some lines, a verse or a stanza, however you want to call it, that I wrote down, jotted down to use as another example. So automatically I kick it off with an end rhyme, end syllable, guitars, centaurs. Then you see me do the internal rhyme with beast, seek, feast, meat, feats. And you can also see that with meat and feats, I kind of include a multi-rhyme before them. Human, Truman. Do another multi-rhyme, ing, devastation, ing, menstruation. That's just me adding more to it. Really, devastation and menstruation kind of already are a multi-syllable rhyme, because again, there's more than 2 syllables that are rhyming. Dev or men, like the e, the station. The station thing is very much like it's a multi already, because of the fact you're rhyming more than 2 syllables when you use the station. So any words with Asian, the 2 syllable thing. Basically, as long as you're rhyming more than 2 syllables, you're pretty much doing a multi. It doesn't matter really how you do it. So, there's a good example for internal rhyme, multis. Next one, switch up, the rhyme scheme. Zaire, whirl, fire, swirl, chaos. And this is where we get into slant rhyme or near rhyme, however anybody calls it, where like the hideous, heinous, like these words really don't rhyme, really, depending how you say it. But that's the thing, though, it depends how you say it, because how you say it, they can rhyme. How someone else may say it, or whether it be by their accents or whatever factor, these words may not rhyme. And so I'm just using this as an example for rhyming right here. Chaos, hideous, heinous. Like, you hear how I'm saying it. I'm trying to make it rhyme, and that's what near rhyme, near rhyme, slant rhymes kind of are. They're pretty much like twisting the words or saying them in a certain way to make them rhyme. That's something rappers do a lot. Rappers do a lot of that when they're trying to rhyme a syllable with another syllable or word. And so they just, twist it up. I'm pretty sure everyone has heard that from rappers like Wayne, Jay-Z, Drake, a lot of them have used it. Everyone has used it, really. Everyone who rhymes. So the last stanza, multiple sinister levels, and I rhyme with words that will be coming after it, multiple, subtle. As you can see, 2-syllable rhymes, mall, sol, tuple, dull, blatant, flagrant at the end. But before that, you have sinister, minister, levels, rhymes with the settles. Sorry, I couldn't see it for a while because of the way I highlighted it. I couldn't see it for a second. And then I go on to switch it up, letting go, vetting, so in, and next one is when. And this is what I also want to talk about is an example of enjambment rhyme. It's when you take a word and you break it up. First syllable is mostly going to be like this, when, where, a lot of times rappers and people do this to have that syllable rhyme with another syllable in the last line. Rappers have done this. Biggie has done this. Tupac has done this. I'm trying to think of another rapper. I know another rapper has done this. I'm trying to think. There's a popular song, if you know your hip hop history, that has done this. And not only have they done this, but they even confused a lot of people into what they were saying. I just remember what it was. It was Top Billin'. One of the rappers. Well, not Top Billin'. The song is called Top Billin', but the group Audio 2, and one half of the Audio 2 group, Milk D, he says a line, suckers that's down with neither one of us, which for many people who are rap fans and a little bit of rap history, the notion was that people thought that he said suckers that was down with me, but he didn't say that. He said suckers that was down with neither one of us. He even did a video with Genius, even explaining about how people thought he said me.
Most people think that I say suckers that's down with me. Why would I say that? It's suckers that's down with neither one of us.
That's what enjambment rhymes can do. They can be very tricky. Like here, I do window, and if I was to be like a rapper and say this, verse, you would think I said, an open win, and then, dough would be something separate. But the thing is, though, they're actually one word. They're not separated. I just broke it up to, rhyme with the in. So that's what enjambment rhymes can do. They can be very kind of tricky. Like depending how you listen into it, they can be it's like a little lyric trick that rappers do sometimes. And it's not really to confuse you, more so as it's more of a method just to rhyme, really. It's just a way just to get that rhyme in. So that's really all it is. I close out the verse, stock markets with hot pockets. So yeah, I include a variety of different rhymes, and that's what rappers do. They write like this. They write where they include all these elements of, rhyming syllable to syllable, rhyming, sometimes end rhyme, and, a multitude of things. And there's more to it. I'm going to cover that in other videos, but, this one is just, to cover rhyme. And as you can see, this is probably not the best. I don't think what I did here was really that good. But, it's something that I thought of off the top of how rappers mostly write, where they write very, multi-syllable, eternal, all that stuff. They include all those elements. So if you want to try, my advice, learn what compound rhyme is, eternal rhyme. I'll put that in the link below, so that way you can have help and a guide to really, see what elements are included. Practice, I would advise to practice free write. Just, sit down, write yourself a 16 or whatever you want to do, and just include those elements in there. If you have a method of how you want to write, then, exercise it and just include these devices that I talked about, these different rhyming, these rhyming techniques, half rhyme, slant rhyme, near rhyme, all that stuff. And so that's it. That's it for this video. Like I said, this is a series, so I'll include the other devices in other videos. But that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one.